Hey guys, welcome to another tier ranking. I'm going to be doing a tier ranking of another tier ranking of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Um, I actually uploaded, my opinions on these movies have changed just a little bit. That's why I'm sharing you guys my updated opinions on these movies. My opinion changed just a little. And I did really, I saw, and I'm doing this also because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania came out. Those two movies came out since the last video I did. My last tier ranking of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies I did, and so I'm doing an updated list, and my opinions have changed just a little bit. But yeah, no, I saw, but yeah, it's still pretty much the same, but my opinion changed just a little bit for some of these, but all in all, let's get started. My favorite has to be Avengers Endgame. Yeah, Avengers Endgame was awesome. It had a really great. I love the story. It was really well done, and this movie was very well made. It had really good visuals and cinematography. Probably the best visuals in the entire. This movie probably has the best visuals in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Infinity War also has great visuals as well. But this movie has the best visuals. It's really, really well made. It's really great. Love this movie. And that final action scene at the end of the movie, where everyone comes back, and the final action scene has to be like my favorite scene. It is my favorite scene in movie history. It's awesome. This is my second favorite superhero movie behind The Dark Knight. And so, yeah, love this movie. Really, really great movie. And I remember I said Spider-Man No Way Home was my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It's not anymore. I said it was the best. I don't think it is. I still love Spider-Man No Way Home. It is really great. I don't think it's not my number one favorite anymore like it was when I first saw it because it had all three of the old Spider-Men in it. But it had two of the other old Spider-Men. It had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and it had Tom Holland with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and that was so awesome. That was so awesome. Up to this day, it's been a year and a half since this movie came out, and it's still hard to believe the fact that they had three Spider-Men in one movie and all the old villains. This was an epic Spider-Man crossover. That's why this movie was my favorite out of all the MCU movies. Until I rewatched Endgame with some friends more recently. I saw Endgame with some friends more recently last month, and then I also watched Spider-Man No Way Home more recently. And it's just Endgame has I just like the story better in Endgame. It has better drama. But I still love this movie as well. It's my second favorite out of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. It has. I also love the visuals in this movie too, and the acting is great. Tobey Maguire's, of course, is awesome in this movie. So is Andrew Garfield. So is Tom Holland. Tom Holland was great too, and Andrew Garfield was so awesome in this movie as well. And he's a huge Spider-Man fan, and he should be very proud of himself in this movie. I loved Andrew Garfield in this movie. He was great. And so, yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home is awesome. Still love it. Definitely one of the best superhero movies. So, yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home. Solid masterpiece. And then Avengers Infinity War. I have to be right here. Yeah, Avengers Infinity War was awesome as well. Again, this movie also had really great visuals as well. And Thanos is one of the best movie villains of all time. By far the best Marvel villain. And Josh Brolin did such a good job voicing Thanos. I really like the voice of Thanos. He was perfect to voice Thanos. And this movie was very well made. I like the setup, and the action scenes are killer. The effects are great. And I will say this movie probably has better pacing than Endgame. I think Endgame is a better movie, but this movie has better pacing. The pacing is better in this movie though. Because, with Endgame, there's some scenes where you can get up to go to the bathroom or, get up and stretch. But this movie, there's so much stuff happening in this movie. And so, Yeah, but Endgame I still like more. It had like literally all the old characters in it, and all the characters, and it was great. This movie's great too, and yeah, love this movie. Every character shines in this movie. They're awesome. So yeah, Avengers: Infinity War is also a solid masterpiece. One of the best superhero movies I've seen. And then Iron Man would have to be right here. Yep, Iron Man is also great as well. I love Iron Man. I like how they introduced the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. This was the very first MCU movie in release, and I really like this movie a lot. I love Robert Downey Jr. in this movie. No one else can play. No one else can play Robert Downey Jr. I mean, no one else can play Iron Man other than Robert Downey Jr. He can't be replaced as Iron Man. Just no one else could do Iron Man. He did such a really great job in this movie, and and the action scenes are great. I love it has a great soundtrack. I like how it starts off the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the acting is really great too. This is definitely one of the best superhero movies. I really like the first Iron Man. It's a really great movie, and the very first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. So yeah, Iron Man is a solid movie. And then Captain America Civil War. There it is. Captain America Civil War, right there. Yep, I love Captain America Civil War as well. This is definitely one of the best superhero movies. The action is great in this movie. I love the action. Like, that airport fight scene was awesome. And the final battle with Captain America, Iron Man, and Bucky, that was so awesome. It was dark, too. I like how they introduced Black Panther in this movie. You also see Spider-Man for the first time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I really like it. It's really, really great. And Spider-Man was so funny in this movie. That airport fight scene was awesome. And yeah, this movie was great. Really well-made movie. Really good acting. And yeah, great movie. I've talked a lot about this, so yeah. And then for yeah, Black Panther. I'll have to put that right in the A tier. Yeah, Black Panther was awesome. I loved Black Panther. This is definitely one of the best superhero movies. I really liked Chadwick Boseman in this movie. He was great as Black Panther. I also really liked Eric. I really liked Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger. He was awesome. Definitely one of the best. Definitely one of the best MCU villains. I really liked him in this movie, and and the characters are awesome in this movie. I love the musical score. It's great. And the action is awesome. And really great visuals, and this is a really well-made movie. And so yeah, Black Panther is a solid movie. Really like Black Panther. And so then I will have to put I'm gonna put I think I'm gonna put Thor Ragnarok right here. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok is awesome. I really like it's a very funny movie. This has to be like the funniest out of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. This movie is hilarious. I love Thor is so funny in this movie, and the Hulk is great in this movie too. And that scene was hilarious, and the opening scene was killer. The action scenes were badass, and so yeah, it was hilarious, and this movie is awesome. And the Immigrant Song worked so well for the opening scene, and it was killer. And I love the scene with Thor versus the Hulk. That was also sick. And in the final battle, you hear the Immigrant Song again. I love Hela in this movie. She's very cool. She's creepy too. Hela is very creepy in this movie. And yeah, this movie's solid. Really solid movie. And then I will have to put. I'm gonna put. Okay, I'm gonna put Captain America: The Winter Soldier right here. Yeah, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is awesome. The action scenes are awesome in this movie. It was so dark, and for people who never read the comics, when you saw Bucky alive, that was so dark and surprising. I didn't expect that. And yeah, this movie was awesome. Definitely like one of the best superhero sequels. This is probably one of the biggest superhero sequels that was better than the second movies. This is probably one of the biggest superhero second movies that were better than the first one. And so, Yeah, this movie's awesome. The the action in this movie is great. I really like. Of course, Captain America shines in this movie. Um, and it's great. The action is killer in this movie, and the musical score is also great. Like I remember once I saw the boat fight scene, I was sucked into the movie. I remember really liking this movie a lot, and so it holds up very well. So yeah, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is a solid movie. Okay, then next I'm gonna talk, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. Wait, I have to be right here. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is a solid movie as well. I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy. The action in this movie is great too, and the soundtrack is awesome. And yeah, the soundtrack in this movie is great. And so, and the action is great, and the visuals are fantastic. And Rocket's definitely my favorite character. Bradley Cooper did such a good job voicing Rocket, and I really like Peter Quill. Chris Pratt is Peter Quill as well. And but Rocket is definitely like my favorite character. Rocket, I think, is one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe characters. I really liked Rocket. He was awesome. He's very cool. And so, yeah, this movie's awesome, and it had really, really good soundtrack, and it had really good effects too. And so, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is a solid movie. And then I'm gonna put, the Avengers. Yep, the Avengers. There's the Avengers. Yeah, the Avengers is awesome. I love the how it starts off where you see all 6 characters teaming up. This was awesome for back in 2012 because it had all the characters that were in their standalone movie in one movie. It was so awesome. It was a really big deal at the time, and yeah, it was awesome. And it's not quite as good as Infinity War and Endgame. I remember this movie used to be like when I was a kid. I saw this movie. This movie was like my favorite movie ever. One of my favorite movies of all time. And so I really liked this movie a lot when I first saw it, and I still love it up to this day. Back in the day, though, when I first saw it, it definitely would have been in the S tier, but it's in the A tier. And now because I've seen it so many times now, and I've just, I don't feel like I really need to watch this movie anymore. I've seen it countless of times now, but I still love this movie a lot. It's definitely one of the best superhero movies, and of course, one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. This movie's awesome, really great effects. The final battle scene was awesome, really great score too. But like, it's just, I don't feel like I need to watch it anymore. It's like I would rather watch these 9 other movies I talked about over this movie. But I still always have a fun time with this movie, but I just don't feel like I need to watch it anymore. But I still think it's a great movie. So yeah, The Avengers, solid movie, great Marvel movie. And then I'm gonna I'll put Spider-Man: Homecoming right here. Yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming is also great as well. I really like how they introduce Spider-Man to this whole movie, into the MCU. It started off. It's set like right a couple months after. It's set like a couple months after Captain America: Civil War, and I really like it. I really like Michael Keaton is the Vulture in this movie. He's awesome. I like the fact that Iron Man's in this movie too, and it's just really awesome. And Tom Holland is really so good in this movie. And yeah, this movie has great acting, great story, and it has fast pacing too. And yeah, this is a fun movie. I always have fun with this movie. It's a great movie. I really like the story. It's good. I really like this movie a lot. And then I'm gonna put I'm gonna put Ant-Man in the Ant-Man right there. I always have a fun time with the first Ant-Man movie. I really like the first Ant-Man movie a lot. I think Ant-Man is fun. I love Paul Rudd in this movie. He's hilarious, and this movie is actually really funny. And I like the story put into this movie. It's very funny. I like the fact that it's set in San Francisco, and I like the heist theme to this movie. Like, it's, like, not too science fiction-y. I really like the fact, like, it's not a space movie or, like, anything like that, like, too science fiction-y. It's just, like, a heist movie. And I really like that, actually, quite a bit. And it's very funny. It has good score, and I always have a good time every time I watch this movie. It's fun. I do like the first Ant-Man. And, yeah, Ant-Man's a fun movie. So, yeah. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right here. I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I actually just saw this movie about a month ago. Well, actually, I saw it more recently, actually, for a third time in theaters. I saw it 3 times in theaters now. And the second time I saw it, I actually saw it in 3D. I saw it 3 times in theaters. The second time was in 3D, and the 3D was awesome. The action scenes were killer in 3D. The 3D was actually really well made 3D. I really liked it a lot. The second time was the best time watching it because I saw it in 3D. And yeah, I don't really want to say too much because this movie just came out, and so I don't want to give too much away. And so I'm not going to talk too much about this movie, but it is a really good movie. I had a lot of fun with this movie. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is a fun movie. It's a fun time. And I'm going to put Spider-Man Far From Home right here. Yeah. Spider-Man Far From Home is also really great as well. I really liked Spider-Man Far From Home. I really like how it sets up Spider-Man No Way Home. And I really like Mysterio in this movie. Jake Gyllenhaal's performance as Mysterio was awesome. I liked his suit, and he's one of the best Marvel villains. I really like him in this movie. He's one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe villains. He's definitely one of the best Spider-Man villains. I really like Mysterio. He's cool, and all the holograms and stuff. And this movie, Mysterio is really cool, and like the final action scene when they're in London, that part was awesome. And yeah, this movie's really it's really fun. I do like this movie, and I do also like I do like a ton of the action scenes are great too. And so yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home is a good movie. It is a fun time. Then I'm gonna put I'm gonna put Captain America, the First Avenger. Where's that one? Captain America, the First Avenger. There it is. Yeah, Captain America: The First Avenger is a fun time as well. I really like this movie. I like how they introduced Steve Rogers in this movie and how he's all scrawny, and then later he becomes all ripped from being in that machine. And yeah, I really like this movie a lot. Sebastian Stan's great in this movie, and I really like him too. Tommy Lee Jones is great. Everyone's great in this movie. And yeah, I love this movie. It's really great. I like how it introduces. Because it's technically actually the first one chronologically. And this is a good movie to start with if you haven't seen any superhero movies. This is actually a good one to start with. I actually watched this with my grandma. She actually really liked it because it was set in the 1940s, and so they did a really good job with the old-fashioned stuff in this movie. And I really liked that old-fashioned theme put into this movie. And so I watched it with my grandma. She really liked it, and I wanted to watch it with her because it was set in the 1940s. And yeah, she really liked this movie. She thought it was well made. And yeah, this is a fun time. I really like the Captain America: The First Avenger. It's a really solid movie. And then Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings would have to be right here. Yeah, I really liked Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I thought that was a good movie. I thought that was really. I like the action scenes and the visuals were really, really great in this movie. And yeah, this movie was awesome. And yeah, this is a solid movie. I really like the action scenes in this movie. And I like the father in the movie too. He has to be like my favorite character. I really liked him in this movie. He was. He's definitely one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe villains. I really like him in this movie, and yeah, he's really awesome in this movie. And and this movie is very good actually. I like the action scenes and the scenes with the rings and stuff. That was really awesome. And yeah, this is a fun movie. I really liked it. And one of the better movies, because this is one of the better movies in more recent Marvel, because I haven't been the biggest fan of the MCU movies lately. But I really did. I think this one was one of the better ones. And so, yeah, I do really like this movie a lot. And so, yeah, Shang-Chi and Shang-Chi is the Legend with the Ten Rings is actually a really fun time. I really like this movie. So, yeah, I really like this movie. And then I'm going to put Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Yep, I actually did, I did this, I talked a lot about this movie in the last video I made of my top 10 favorite movies of 2022. And I didn't talk too much about it in my last 7 months ago when I uploaded my list of my tier rankings of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies because it just came out. But I talked enough about it now. And so if you want to know my opinion on this movie, just go check out my top 10 favorite movies of 2022 there. It's there, so yeah. I really liked Shuri in this movie, though. She was a badass in this movie. She was really cool. And so, yeah. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was a great movie. It was sad, too, because of Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, but yeah, it's a good movie. I really liked it. And then I'm gonna put, I'll put Guardians of the Galaxy 2 right here. I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought it had I like the action scenes in this movie. They're really cool. And the soundtrack is great too. I love Baby Groot in this movie. He's hilarious. And I liked Yondu in this movie a little bit more than he was in the first movie. He's more memorable in this movie than he was in the first movie. And yeah, this movie's really awesome. This movie is fun. I do like this movie a lot. I like the characters in this movie. And, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was a fun time. I really liked it. Had good music, of course, like the first one did. And so, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was a good movie. I really like it. And then I'm gonna put, I'm gonna put Avengers Age of Ultron right in the, right there. Yeah, I liked Age of Ultron a lot. I really like, I really liked I really liked Age of Ultron. It had really, I loved Ultron in the movie. He was awesome. Definitely one of the best MCU villains. I really liked Ultron, and yeah, Ultron was awesome in this movie. He is pretty creepy because of his voice, and I don't know who that guy. I forget the guy's name who voices him, but he's really good at voicing Ultron. He was really good in this movie. The voice was spectacular, and so. Yeah, I really like this movie a lot. It is a good movie. It had really great effects, and so yeah, great movie. And then I'm gonna put Doctor Strange right here. Yeah, Doctor Strange is also I really like Benedict Cumberbatch is so great in this movie. I like how they introduced Stephen Strange in this movie, and I like what they did with Doctor Strange. They made him look just exactly like the way he is in the comics, because a lot of times with modern superhero movies nowadays, it's just, they don't make characters look exactly like the way they do in the comics, like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. They don't give him the yellow suit, or Hawkeye. He doesn't wear that purple suit. Like, they just don't make a lot of modern superheroes look like the way they do in the comics. But they did with Doctor Strange. He looked just exactly like the way they made him in the comics. And so, yeah. I really like Doctor Strange. It's a fun movie. I really like it. It had really great effects. It's a bit like Inception a little. It's a little bit like Inception. And so yeah, I really like this movie a lot. It had good action scenes, and I love Tilda Swinton as Ancient One in this movie as well. And yeah, Doctor Strange was pretty good. I enjoy Doctor Strange quite a bit. And then I'm gonna put Thor right here. Yeah, I really liked. I did like how they introduced Chris Hemsworth and how they introduced Thor in this movie. I liked him in this movie a lot, and I do like this movie. It got a little annoying at times when it had Dutch angles, but it wasn't. I mean, it got kind of annoying when he had Dutch angles, but when this movie had Dutch angles. But all in all, this was a fine movie. I enjoyed it. I do enjoy this movie. I do enjoy this movie, and so yeah, I really like Thor. And then I'm gonna put, what what's the next? I'm gonna put Black Widow in the C tier. Yeah, Black Widow was alright. It wasn't a bad movie. It's right. It's alright. I don't think it's bad. Like, the first hour was pretty good. It was a fine movie. The rest of the movie kind of fell apart a little bit. Like, the last half hour kind of started to fall apart a little bit. And, but yeah, this movie's not bad. Of course, Scarlett Johansson is great in this movie. And, but I didn't really care for the villain. And, this just was an unnecessary movie. But, like, there's been, as I said, I haven't been the biggest fan of, the more recent Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. But, like, there are some good ones, like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is great. And, and I really liked Spider-Man No Way Home, and Shang-Chi was good, too. And so there's some, it's been a little bit, but Black Widow, however, was just, I mean, right in the middle, because there's been some Marvel movies that have not been that great lately, and some that, Black Widow's right in the middle. It's not bad, but it's just alright. I did like Scarlett Johansson, of course, in this movie, and it's a Black Widow movie, but it's not, like, amazing, but it's not a bad movie. Not bad. It's definitely better than some of the other more recent Marvel movies that have been out, and so yeah. Alright, and then I'm gonna put, Thor the Dark World right here. I remember really liking Thor the Dark World when I first saw it. I liked it better than the first one when I first saw it, but, like, it's just, I prefer, this first one more, because it has better, like, I mean, I like the first one better because it's not as, like, this one's a little bit slow-paced at times. It can get kind of boring at times. The first one, it's, like, it's more lighthearted and stuff, but, like, what I liked better about this movie, it had no Dutch angles, and it had better score. This one has amazing score. One of the best scores in musical scores in superhero movies. This musical score was really, really awesome. And so, yeah, this movie's not bad, but it's just forgettable. If it wasn't for the musical score, I probably would have forgotten a lot about this movie. This movie was not so memorable. It's one of the forgettable Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. So yeah, it's a forgettable movie. And then I'm gonna put, I'll put Ant-Man and the Wasp right here. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp was just, I mean, I wasn't a fan of this movie. It just wasn't, like, the first one was so much better, and, but, like, it wasn't, like, the first one was so much better. This movie, it wasn't memorable, like, the villain was not so great, it's just, this movie's forgettable. I wasn't a fan of this movie, this movie's not that great, and so, yeah, it wasn't that great. And so then I'm going to put Iron Man 2 right here. Yeah, Iron Man 2 was, the first one was so much better. I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie. It's kind of bland. I didn't really like the villain Whiplash. I thought he was kind of a lame villain. And, yeah, this movie is not that, the first Iron Man was great. This movie was just, not a fan. I wasn't a fan of the Iron Man sequels, but of course, Robert Downey Jr. is great as Iron Man, but, like, I'm just not a fan of the Iron Man sequels like I was with the first movie. Because Iron Man 1 was great, but Iron Man 2 was just not great. I did like that part quite a bit where where War Machine and Iron Man were fighting. That was a good scene, but, like, I don't know, I just wasn't a fan of this movie. Yeah. And then, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be right there. Yeah, I was not a fan. This movie had way too much happening in this movie. Like, there was just way too much in this movie. It was hard to, like, keep up with stuff that was happening in this movie. It was just, the pacing was, like, way too fast. And, like, the pacing was quite a bit of a mess in this movie. And the pacing was not right, and it just had too much stuff happening in this movie. Like, you'd have to watch the shows to understand what's going on. Like, WandaVision, you'd have to watch, like, What If. Well, you wouldn't have to watch What If, but it would be better to watch it because of Captain Carter. But it's just, there was too much happening in this movie. This movie was just, I wasn't the biggest fan. This movie kind of bit off more than I could chew. So, yeah, wasn't a fan of Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. This movie was just kind of had too much happening. Kind of lost my interest. So, yeah. And then I'm gonna put I'll put Iron Man 3 right here. Yep. Iron Man 3 was just, I mean, I do think it's the lowest out of the Iron Man trilogy. As I said, I wasn't a big fan of the Iron Man sequels, but I do love the first Iron Man. But the Iron Man sequels were just not that great. This movie was just kind of just forgettable, very forgettable movie. It got kind of boring. I watched it a few years ago for the first time because I was rewatching it. I watched it 2 years ago, actually. I watched it for the first time, actually, because I never really had any interest in, like, I never had the time to watch this, but I did watch it. And, I mean, it was alright. I rewatched it because I rewatched all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in chronological order because of Black Widow. And so, yeah, I rewatched this movie, and, it was alright. It wasn't great. And so, yeah, Iron Man 3 was just kind of forgettable. And then I'm going to put Thor Love and Thunder right here. Yeah, Thor Love and Thunder, I liked this movie a lot when I first saw it because of the action scenes. And I did like Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale, a lot. He's definitely one of the best Marvel villains. I really liked Gore the God Butcher quite a bit. He was a really great Marvel villain. One of the best of them. I really liked his character a lot, actually. He had, I liked one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe villains. But Christian Bale did a good job as Gore the God Butcher. I like his performance. But this movie itself, though, was not that great. I mean, there were a couple good parts. My favorite part of the movie is where you see Thor and Gore the God Butcher. They meet for the first time, and on the planet that's black and white. I also like that part where you see where Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor, they're where you hear "Welcome to the Jungle." That part was pretty cool too. But just all in all, it had a couple good action scenes and it had good music. But just this movie overall was forgettable. I thought Korg was annoying in this movie. And I was disappointed in this movie. I wanted to like this movie a lot, but I just was disappointed by this movie. And so, yeah, I was not a big fan of this movie. And so, yeah, this movie was just forgettable. And so, yeah. And then Captain Marvel would have to be, right? Actually, yeah, Captain Marvel. Yeah, I'm going to put Captain Marvel. I really wasn't a fan of this movie either. There was too much, I just wasn't, a fan of the character and just the movie overall. This movie, the pacing was a mess, and it's just, some of the effects were, I mean, it had some good action scenes, but, this movie was just, I was not a fan of this movie. I really don't have much to say about this movie, so, yeah. And then I'm going to put The Incredible Hulk right here. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this movie either. I thought it got kind of boring at times. I mean, I talked about it when I uploaded the tier ranking of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies 7 months ago. But it's just, I'm not a fan of this movie at all. It had some good action scenes. I mean, Edward Norton was just not so, I mean, he was, okay as Bruce Banner. Mark Ruffalo is so much better. Edward Norton is just alright. But this movie was just, The Incredible Hulk was not that great. And so, yeah. And Eternals would have to be right here in the D tier. Yep, I did not care for Eternals. I thought it was boring. I've talked so much about this movie. It had some good cinematography and maybe some good action scenes. But all in all, this movie was just a very forgettable movie. And it was just really, really boring. I really don't have much to say about this movie. I've talked enough about this movie. I've talked, literally enough about it. It was in the list of the top 10 most boring movies I've ever seen. And it's just really not that great. It's one of the most boring movies I ever saw. And so, yeah, didn't really care for it. I mean, it was just boring, but it had some good action scenes, I guess. But yeah, all in all, this movie's forgettable. Maybe also some good effects, but yeah, that's about it. The story was a mess. It was boring. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yeah, I think that's the lowest one. Lowest tier, bottom tier out of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I really did not like this movie at all. I did not like the effects. I didn't like the aliens. There was just, this movie was just actually very cringeworthy. Eternals is more boring. This movie's more cringy and irritating. They brought back, they used the Yellow Jacket now as MODOK, and he looks so dumb. Like, if you're gonna use MODOK, you could keep him like the way they did in the comics. Like, don't show the actual face. Like, leave like the face covered with that mask on, where you see like the way MODOK looks in the comics. But that face just looked so cringy, and he looked like a combination of Humpty Dumpty and he looked like a combination of Humpty Dumpty and Mr. Electric from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and it wasn't that great. I mean, I did like Kang in this movie. I did like Kang. He was like the best part of the movie. Definitely a really good. I really liked him. He was a very cool villain. But all in all, I didn't like this movie. Everything was kind of sucked in this movie. Like, I did not like MODOK. He looked just cringy. And there was so much stuff cringing about this movie, and so, yeah, I did not like this movie. I really don't like this movie. So yeah, that was my tier ranking of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this list? If not, what is your favorite out of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies? Let me know down in the comment section below. Comment below, let me know. And if you like this, please subscribe to my channel and hit that like. I was supposed to make this video about a month ago, but, you know, I had so much shit happening, and I just didn't have the time to upload this video, but I have it now. I'm probably not going to upload more tier rankings of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies for a while, and so, yeah. So yeah, this is my second one. I don't need it. I'm not going to make any more for a while. Any more Marvel rankings for a while, and so yeah. Yeah. Let me know down in the comment section below. Comment below, let me know. And if you like this, please subscribe to my channel and hit that like. Alright. Bye.